And now our third and final candidate from Oklahoma and Region 2, David Pennington.
Good afternoon. My name is David Pennington, and I am the superintendent of the Ponca City Public Schools in Ponca City, Oklahoma. Will Rogers, Oklahoma's favorite son, once made this observation about speeches made by political candidates. There's not a voter in America that 24 hours after any speech was made could remember 2 sentences in it. And I think the challenge that we face this afternoon as we talk to you is to try to express to you what it is about us that would deserve your vote in our election next month. I've been honored to serve as a member of the governing board and the executive committee of AASA for the last 9 years. The last 3 years I've served on the executive committee and had the pleasure of serving on our legislative committee, which is the committee that sets the legislative agenda for AASA. The focus of that agenda has been the reauthorization of ESEA. And as you're all well aware, we haven't gotten that done yet. Despite the efforts of many members in this organization, the great efforts of Bruce Hunter and his staff, we still have that challenge before us. One of the reasons I'm seeking this office is I want to continue that quest, and I want to still be there when we finish the work we've done on ESEA and we get reauthorization. In 2015, we will celebrate the 150th anniversary of our organization. As we prepare for this celebration, I can't help but think about the future of public education and AASA. No one can predict what the future will bring. If we learn anything from the history of studying education in the United States, it would be that there is always someone or some group calling for reform of public education. However, I believe that reform agenda today is much different than the reform agenda in the past. And how AASA responds to this new reform agenda will be the focus of my tenure as executive officer in our organization. I believe, like many of you, that the superintendency in public education is under attack. This attack comes from many different directions. It may be a legislator, state superintendent of schools, newspaper editorial writer, or a local or national public policy organization. Regardless of where the attack comes from, the language is the same. Public schools are failing. Public schools aren't safe. Public schools aren't doing enough to stop bullying. Superintendents are obstructionist. Superintendents are greedy. Superintendents are opposed to any change, and superintendents don't want to be accountable. And the list goes on. What's different about these attacks or about the tone today than in the past is for the first time we have a combination of conservative political agendas, education policy, and corporate foundations or corporate interest. And while in the past maybe we were dealing with national education policy that was organized and rooted inside the Beltway, today we have national education policy that is set by foundations that they then take out to the state legislatures. And we all know what that is. Most of you have some of it in your state. It could be an A to F grade card. It could be teacher leader effectiveness, Common Core. The most recent one that we've seen in our state is some type of proficiency-based funding for schools. Haven't had that one explained to me yet. We have a role as your national organization to lead the debate about education reform in this country. And while maybe in the past our focus has only been what happens in Washington, D.C., I think now we have to step up and we have to engage these national education foundations. And we have to help you respond at the state level to the programs these people put out. Because the reality is, what happens in Oklahoma today will happen in Kansas tomorrow, and it will happen in Colorado 3 weeks later. The challenges we face are great. I would appreciate your support, and I thank you for your time.